they're all slapping their freaking penises around. So it's kind of
man. They're all doing that shit. They're all got their dicks out of the water, showing them off and shit. Yeah. So like her point was like that you could. Her point was that you could like.
Slow, riding slow, and we're getting going to different poles. Yeah, the night is slow, we're riding low, we're getting going to different poles. Yeah, I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, bitch, I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, but you're paranoid.
Testicles, 1, 2, testicles.
Yes, we back at it like young crack addicts. What's good?
We are back. Welcome to Paranoid Radio Podcast. This is your boy, Trebles Garcia. And joining me again in the 1s and 2s is the best co-host in the motherfucking planet, Big Tank. Salute, my boy.
Salute. What's going on, my brother?
Nothing much, bro. How was your fucking weekend?
Lit. I was somewhere deep in Mexico, I would have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking getting shit cracking.
All right, that is right. But you already know what this is. This is the best show with the best content for the best fucking listeners. You, the probers, Probe Nation. All right. We have a very fucking special fucking show, pre-made show by a very special fucking guest today. But before we do all of that, Big Tank, please connect the randomizer machine and give us the listener of the week. Listen to that baby purr. Big Tank, who do we have today?
Black Tree Skylines.
Ooh.
Salute.
Black Tree Skyline on Instagram. She is a new follower and supporter, and she's been active on a fucking account on Instagram. Thank you so much for following us, and we hope that you're listening to the show. This episode goes out to you. All right.
Mad love.
That is right. Big Tank. But you already know what this is, bro. It's a bird. It's a plane. Nope. It's Paranoid Radio. Big Tank, what is happening?
What is happening, my people? You guys know the deal. I'm going to give you guys 2 stories. I want you guys 2 cents plus my 2 cents, and we taking this bitch to the bank of knowledge.
Ooh, the bank of knowledge.
Yes. First major story on the news worldwide. This is going on. If you don't believe this, go check it out.
Worldwide, Craig.
Worldwide. So, if y'all didn't know, Bitcoin and Dogecoin are cryptocurrencies. They're one of the 2 most known. There's thousands of them out there, but not all of them make it. All of them actually have a real value.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so bank accounts last night were fluctuating heavy. Thousands of people lost money, gained money, lost money, gained money, stayed the same. Mm-hmm. Crazy as fuck. So if you're invested in the cryptocurrency, check your portfolio. Definitely check it out. I mean, it's nothing crazy out of this world. Obviously, you're dealing in basically crypto money, but it's definitely scary if you got more than a couple $100 in there.
That's right. You gotta fucking check that shit out.
Story number 2. This one's coming to you from the other side of the world. The Taliban have retaken Afghanistan.
Oh my goodness.
For the people that don't know, Taliban were there they were actually forced out by the U.S. forces when we were dealing with the whole war in Iraq.
That's right.
We went there, quote unquote, and we set up democracy for them. Make it better for them, quote unquote, believe it or not, however you guys want to believe it. Obviously, I'm not over there. I'm not seeing how it is. But we were able to push the Taliban down.
Yeah.
And now that U.S. forces are retreating, we have no such hard present there. They came in. It got to the point so bad where the military basically put down their guns and said, fuck this. The president said, deuces, catch you guys on the fly.
That is right. The United States is pulling out finally after training and giving salaries and even giving weapons to the Afghan military. Even got to a point where the Afghan military even has an air force, and the U.S. was running the maintenance on these air force vehicles. But unfortunately, I don't know, for some reason, the Afghans are not willing to fight the war. So, I honestly could only hope for the best.
So, major love and prayers to everybody out there. We will definitely be keeping you in our heads and in our hearts. This is what is happening. I brought you guys 2 stories. Let me know if you guys are feeling it. If you're not feeling it, if it was a heavy topic, if you want more stupid topic, you guys want to hear more wolves, human wolves, scaring people, let me know. Hit me up in the comments. Hit us up on Instagram. Let us know what you think.
That is right. That is right. Big Tank again with the fucking good fucking presence and bringing his 2 amazing stories. Thank you again. Everybody, please give him a round of applause. That is right. Big Tank, thank you. Now, everybody, we have a pre-recorded show with a very special guest. We're about to introduce him up next, so enjoy the fucking show.
Salute, salute.
Salute, brother. Now, today, Big Tank, allow me to set the fucking mood and jump from the deep end of the pool, because today we have an amazing fucking episode. For the very first time for the very first time ever, we have a special guest based in the beautiful country of Thailand. Today, he's bringing massive wealth of information to our show, along with great conspiracy topics around the world with his own podcast. He is a teacher, the creative director and host of the Conspiracy Comrades podcast. Please give a warm welcome to Jordan Frenna.
What's going on, guys? That's the best intro I've ever had.
Oh, man. Hey, dude, I'm glad we gave you an amazing intro. Hopefully you can remember us by that.
At least, if that's all he takes away from us, at least the intro he loved.
I'm gonna soundbite that and keep it every time I introduce myself on my podcast. That's what I'm gonna do.
Awesome. Jordan Frenna. Can I call you Jay? Is that cool with you?
Yeah. Of course it is.
Jay is a host of a conspiracy podcast. He's based in Thailand. Now, Jordan, for the people that do not know who you are, our listeners, we call them the probers. Go ahead and introduce yourself and let them know who you are and a little bit about your podcast.
What's going on, guys? So my name is Jordan. I'm from the UK, normally from the north, the best part.
Ooh.
And I decided to make this podcast for a little bit of fun, a little bit of breakdowns, and man, there's a lot of crazy things that go on in the world, and some of it is true, and some of it is not so true. Do you know what I mean? So I'm here to just kind of skate that middle line. When I first started this podcast, I found it hard. You've either got the nuts on one side that believe absolutely everything, or you've got the guys that just want to shoot everything down. So I thought, I want to take a funny middle line and break things down to the best of my ability, come with the facts, come with the funnies, and, try and figure it out. Try and actually get to the bottom of some of the conspiracies.
That is right. Big Tank and I hosting this Paranoid Radio podcast, we both share that same passion that you do, and the specific same page of the book, because we try to see conspiracies in a deeper end and then on the factual end also. And then we make it fun as we're putting our point across. So it's definitely a mutual feeling.
For sure.
Definitely it is.
All right. Now, Big Tank and Jordan, we're going to start this conversation. Tonight is going to be another fucking cryptid. As you know, Big Tank and I had a versus battle of Chupacabra versus the Wolfman. Chupacabra beat his ass all day, every day. And
your deranged mind, yes.
Whatever,
110%.
Whatever, bro. The point is, we got a little bit into cryptids and our imagination just started fucking flowing. And then we came across Conspiracy Comrades, which is an amazing fucking show, by the way. Check them out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify for free, and every other fucking podcast platform. Now, we're going to be talking about Loch Ness Monster today. The very fucking famous, the notorious Nessy the Brave. All right. Now, so from what I got out of your show, because your show was one of the first ones that talked about the Loch Ness Monster into depth, what I got out of your show was a lot of people, it's not a monster technically. The word monster is used a little bit too intense. So the Loch Ness Nessy is more of a mythical monster, and from what I know, I even pulled out that some people even confuse it to be a whale penis. Yeah, definitely. Really funny. So my first question to you, my dude, would be, when was the legend of the Loch Ness Monster, or where was it founded?
Man, there's a few main stories, okay? So you can date it back to as early as 500 AD. So these people called the Picts. And these people were the local people of Scotland around that area. Okay, so they carved into stone a lot of as kind of cavemen and stuff would do. They carved into rocks a lot of the local animals that lived around them. And all of the carvings now have been, proved to be real animals, or deer or this or that. But there's one that they just couldn't quite figure out, and it was this Nessy-looking creature. So the first actual sighting, or the first actual mention of it, wasn't actually in the water. It was a carving on a rock towards the side of the loch. So that's kind of the first actual mention of it. Then when you go throughout history, the actual sightings kind of start to come up, and they come up and up again. The earliest one that we could find was by a fellow called Saint Columba, and he was an Irish missionary who wanted to bring Christianity to Scotland. So in 565 AD, he was traveling to Scotland, and on his way to visit the king, he visited these Picts, these northern Picts near Inverness. And when he stopped, he saw that this beast was attacking. So this is probably maybe more so where the monster theory comes from. Because then he sees this beast killing people in the lake, and he confronts it, right? And he says, the power of God condemns you. It commands this creature to stop killing these people and go back with all speed. And the monster retreated and apparently never harmed another human again. So this is probably where the monster theory comes from. That was a kind of more of a biblical reference. So the first modern sighting was around 1870, when Dean Mackenzie claimed to have seen something wiggling and churning up water. But then this account wasn't actually published until 1934, a year after another sighting. So, I mean,
it's kind of like
the first ones.
view. I'm sorry to interrupt. It's kind of like that. I was reading online that somebody saw it on 1933, and then the first picture was dropped in 1934, alleged picture, which actually was a freaking an elephant trunk, right?
The most famous picture, no?
Yeah, well, the most famous picture has come out to be a hoax now, anyway.
I heard from your episode on your podcast there was even a circus nearby that were letting the elephants shower or bathe at Loch Ness, and I guess it photographed an elephant trunk.
Yeah, well, like definitely, or there's one woman that apparently saw something crossing the road, this giant beast crossing the road, which is probably from the circus which we're visiting Inverness. And I don't know if you've ever seen an elephant swim, but they can fully submerge themselves in water and just stick their trunks out the top.
Yeah.
So I guess if you saw that shit, you'd be like, whoa.
National Geographic.
Yeah, no, yeah. I'd probably think it was Nessy if I saw that shit, you know what I mean? So fair enough. I kind of understand where the people are coming from on that one.
Absolutely. What about casualties? Has there ever since that priest told him, what was his name again? The dude that condemned him or asked him to leave in the name of Jesus?
Saint Columba.
Saint Columba. Okay, Saint, right? Okay, so what if this dude, after him, has there been any reported casualties or injuries?
Just one that I can find officially. So in this story is, it's dodgy as well. Like, I tried to find hospital records. I tried to find an actual mention from the family that mentioned it. Couldn't find it. But here's how the story goes. Okay. So in 1978, a family rented a boat from a company owned by a man called Stanley Roberts. Now, this guy, Stanley Roberts, is the one that claims this story to be true. Outside of this fella, Stanley Roberts, I can't really find shit. So you'll have to take Stanley's word.
So it's like his word, like literally.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
So I know. Yes. I mean, I guess. But I don't know. I take this one with a pinch of salt. But the boat apparently hit a large creature. So this family take out this boat. There's I think there was a boy and a girl, the grandpa and the dad. They take out this boat, and the boat apparently hits a large creature. Then, after hitting this large creature, the beast reportedly sticks its head out of the water as if to say, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Do you know what I mean? You're just hitting it. Looks at the family. The old man has a heart attack. The family start freaking out. The family obviously bring the boat straight back. The boat was apparently damaged. There was black skin, like really rough skin caught up in the propeller. They brought the boat back. The grandfather gets taken to hospital where he actually dies, according to Stanley. He dies. And then here's where the dodgy part happens on this story, though. So Stanley goes to get the boat repaired, right? And while he's getting the boat repaired, the boat repairman finds all this really thick black skin caught up in the propeller. Now, apparently the boat repairman knows about this story and how it hit this creature. And instead of keeping this skin or, taking it for any analysis or just keeping it as a souvenir, he takes it away and just throws it back in the lock.
What? No, get out of here.
Yeah, so
I would have kept that and put that in a jar and kept it
exactly.
I'll be showcasing that at work.
Tell me about it, or you'd at least give it to the family. You know what I mean? Their granddad's died. Like they deserve a souvenir or something.
It's a little. Okay, I see why you say it's real dodgy. I really do see it.
It could have been whale skin, bro. It could have been. I mean, parts of that whale.
Anything.
Dick,
well, yeah.
Off. I mean,
we can get to what I think it is a little bit later, but yeah, I heavily think it's an eel.
An eel. Oh,
part of an eel.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I was gonna ask, because I mean, one of the most famous theories behind it is that it's a form of sort of what is it called, plesiosaur?
Plesiosaur, yeah.
There we go, plesiosaur. That's one of the most, I guess, common. So that's what I was actually gonna ask you. I know you just said it's an eel, but why would you say it's an eel per se? Like, what, have you found any foundings? Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So like there was this guy called Professor Gemmell, right? And Gemmell comes from he's actually from New Zealand, and he just took an interest in this story. So he studies DNA. So he brought a whole team down to Loch Ness, and they studied. They can actually take samples of the water and see what types of animal DNA is in there. Okay,
oh my
and
God,
they found all sorts in there, man. They found dogs. They were basically just trying to disprove other things. But they found pig DNA, dog DNA, like even stuff that shouldn't be in the water, right?
What?
But they found no trace of DNA that they've never really seen before, which the plesiosaur would be. Now, what he did find in there, and what Gemmell did find in there, is ridiculous amounts of eel DNA, way more than what people thought the loch housed previously. So the people thought, there's always been eels, but not that many. But he found an overwhelming amount of eel DNA, and it's possible that there's this eel called the European conger eel, right? And it can grow up to 6 meters long. Now that's about as long. That's about as long as what? Yeah, that's about as long as what? Now they haven't actually found officially a conger eel in the loch. But that's about as long as what they think this plesiosaur could be. And these motherfuckers can weigh up to 110 kilos. So these are some big guys, And if you think it's just like
for our American friends, 110 kilos in pounds is
about 250?
250 pounds, people.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. That's a big fucking animal. Actually.
Big boy.
Yeah. I was going to ask you that. So if it's housing a big animal, how big can the loch be? Now, for the American listeners, the people that don't know what loch means lake. It's just, a Scottish word for lake. How big is the lake of Ness?
So it's actually the Loch Ness, actually the largest volume of fresh water in Great Britain. Okay. Now I wrote down here in kilometers and miles for you guys, because I don't know what you guys go by. I don't know if you guys do the miles as well. So it's nearly 800 feet deep. So that's deep. Do you know what I mean? Like,
as hell, dude.
Yeah, and that's in certain areas, that is. But yeah, man, I was shocked at how deep it is, like real deep. It's really long. So it's about 23 miles long. I converted that to be about 36 kilometers long.
Wow.
But it's not that wide. It's only about 1.7 miles wide, so about 2.7 kilometers wide. So it's big enough that something could definitely live in there.
Yeah.
But going against that is it's quite dark. So
you can't really see anything in front of you if you're like deep diving.
Exactly. And the problem with dark water is that not many, it's like a food chain, right? So not many smaller organisms can live in it. So without any smaller organisms, there can't really be bigger organisms because
Makes
it kind of
sense.
breaks down the food chain.
Makes sense.
So the only problem with the plesiosaur theory, going back to what Big Tank said there, would be that it would have to, plesiosaurs lived millions and millions of years ago. So you would have had a breeding population big enough to sustain themselves for millions of years. And the theory is that the lake, sadly, just doesn't have that food resource big enough for a family of plesiosaurs to live for long. Because it's not just going to be one plesiosaur that's millions and millions and millions of years old. You know what I mean? It would have to logically be a breeding population. So
per se, let's give it a big hype belief if we do believe in that there's a plesiosaur. So if we do believe it is a plesiosaur, obviously there would have to be two at any given point.
If you've seen Jurassic Park, dinosaurs can change their sex according to their surroundings.
Yes. But I'm just saying. Let's just believe for
in Jurassic Park.
I think those dinosaurs had frog DNA. I think that's why
they right. But if we were to say that there's a rule of, I guess, 2, always being there, 2 or 3, there's saying basically through the genetic mutation of them incesting so much that it would actually bring down their their weight and their height of
kind of like lions and stuff. How lions used to be bigger back then, and a lot of animals are smaller than their older counterparts.
Yes, exactly.
I see where you're going with that.
If we were to believe in that, what do you think about that?
Don't get me wrong. It's possible. Animals are always going to evolve to their surroundings, I guess. If you believe in the theory of evolution, that is, which I'm sure some of my listeners don't, but I do. Yes, it's possible. But then one of the biggest problems with it potentially being a plesiosaur is that it was 65 million years ago. And yes, I do kind of believe. Okay, it's possible that maybe. These two could have had a litter of children, and the litter of children could have mated with each other and mated with each other and mated with each other. And there's only ever 2 or 3, but there's always a consistent breeding population. And if you ask one guy, we'll get onto this a little bit later. If you ask one guy, he believes that there was once plesiosaurs, but now they've died out in his lifetime. But the only problem with that is that 10,000 years ago, there was an ice age, right? And during that ice age, the loch was completely frozen. So unless through some sort of crazy inbreeding, these fellas are able to withstand a 1,000-year frozen lake, it kind of also puts a halt to that theory.
You kind of gave me another theory now.
Walt Disney is trying it, so I mean,
check this out, guys. Currents. Underwater currents. Okay, so whales, dolphins, sharks, many animals, large mammals, and other species of animals in the ocean do switch and continue swimming around the earth, depending on the fucking temperature of the water and the seasons, and they follow water currents. So let's just hypothetically say that Loch Ness
closed off.
Is it closed off? No, it has an opening to salt water, I believe.
It does have only a very slight one, which can be as shallow in parts as 2 meters, and even less so depending on water flow. So it
blows it out of the water.
So to be a lake, it does kind of need to be closed off at some point, which it is. But it does have a slight opening, and this is so like there's photos that have been come out recently. Quite a few photos that have come out recently, actually. And there've been a few convincing ones. And one of the things that this Gemmell guy couldn't find was any catfish DNA. However, one of the most recent photos was thought to be a giant catfish. Now, this fella didn't find any catfish DNA, and that is probably because this catfish that has come out now to actually be a catfish probably swam in from the ocean. So it is. I would say this would be my only viable theory if we're going down the plesiosaur route. Would be that, say, for example, as you mentioned, animals move around from place to place, but they all normally have a breeding zone, right? One
Yes.
place where they go and they feel comfortable giving birth, nursing their children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say the one potential theory you could say is that they leave, they go swim around the ocean, they do their thing, but then, like you said, when it's time to get freaky, they come back to the lock. They somehow manage to, climb themselves through this. Yeah, they somehow managed to get themselves over this very thin leading up to the lock, this very thin waterway leading up. And then they get in there, have their babies. People see them. Yeah, people see them freak out. Yeah, but then again, have you seen salmon swimming up a river, to get to where they need to go? Like, it's,
Oh, that's insane.
Nature
it's funny.
leads to weird stuff,
It's funny because I remember hearing your episode with your co-host, and she's like, "It's a giant dick whale. I mean, it's a giant whale dick." And so I guess what happens for the listeners that do not know how whales mate.
Yeah, man.
All the male dicks come out. They're all fucking swinging dick, and the lady whale, she's like swimming, and she's like, flirting with them, flirting. Hey, you're good. Hey, you're small. Hey, you're a little buff, but you got a small one. And then finally, the right one comes out. But as she's choosing who she wants to smash, they're all slapping their freaking penises around. So it's kind of like
they're all doing that shit. They're all got their dicks out of the water, showing them off and shit. Yeah. So like her point was like that you could like, man, some crazy shit happens at sea. Do you know what I mean? Like people think like stuff is, people get mistaken for things all the time at sea. I don't know if you ever heard of what the theory is about what mermaids could be. Do you know like how old sailors saw mermaids?
And they were so lost. They were lost.
They thought hungry. They were manatees.
Seals.
Yeah, manatees. Yeah. Seals and manatees. Exactly. And they, they were tired. Most of these motherfuckers, had a vitamin D deficiency. They were fucked. So I see deficiency. Sorry. So yeah, I get. I went a little bit down the crazy route with the whale dick theory in the middle of the lock.
You know what? I'm gonna have to debunk that theory. I have a feeling they were just horny and they said this is close enough.
Yeah. Very possibly.
I'm pretty sure they just went back home and they bragged out about it to their boys. Hey, you know what? There's this freaking looking half woman type of thing. When it was just a big manatee that probably had seaweed in its hair.
Bro, we are.
One of them definitely fucked one of them,
Oh man, I don't doubt that at all. We're moving from fucking Loch Ness to mermaids and horny whales. All right, guys, let's put a cap on this fucking conversation. Dude, Jordan, Frenna, we're going to end the conversation here. We're going to jump into a segment called Fuck You, Tony. Fuck You, Ezekiel. This is how we end the show. It's always ending the show on a high note with a fucking laugh for the people to come back and enjoy themselves. Now, this segment, I'm just going to basically tell you a riddle or a joke, and you let me know if you want to laugh or keep serious face, okay?
Yeah, so
are you ready?
Have to let them know if you want to laugh.
No, you just laugh, brother. You just laugh. All right. Fuck you, Tony. Fuck you, Ezekiel. If you think about it, many people's life is just one long trip between two hospitals. No? No.
I got a smile. I had a smile, I guess.
All right, one more.
I think you can do better.
I know, dude. I haven't prepped. Relax. Why are they called buildings? If they're already built, why can't they just be called built? No? Damn. I'm losing the fucking touch.
I feel like I'm round the dinner table at Christmas right now. Do you know what I mean?
Why is it called beat up when they're actually in reality beating your ass down? No. A little bit flair. Fuck you guys, man. All right, guys. That was Fuck You, Tony. Fuck You, Ezekiel. The first time I did not make people laugh. That was a rough one. That was a rough one.
The first one was the best.
All right, guys. Hey, Jordan, Frenna from the Conspiracy Comrades podcast. Please give a shout out. Let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, sure, and we're on everything. We had to create a TikTok recently. I'm getting used to that. I don't know if you guys have used TikTok like these young kids, man. But
yeah, hey, dude, we're about 100 followers. Yeah, definitely. We
Whoa,
gotta
that's
follow
pretty
each other.
good. That's pretty
Hey,
good.
man,
Yeah, for sure.
we started 2 months ago, so we're doing pretty fucked
Well,
up.
that's very good. Yeah, very good. Yeah, we're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and then wherever you find your podcast, Spotify, Pocket Cast, Apple, Chromecast, everywhere.
That is, they're called Conspiracy Comrades. Conspiracy Comrades on Instagram. Make sure you follow them. If you cannot find them, follow us, and then you'll see them on our most recent followers. Also, Conspiracy Comrades on Apple Podcasts and Spotify for free. $3.99. You check them out. They have amazing fucking content. Please make sure you check them out and give them 5-star reviews if you enjoy the show. Now, Big Tank, please let them know where they can find you.
Catch me at eknat.ivix. Once again, eknat.ivx on all of your major and social media platforms. Let me know what you guys are not feeling, what you guys are. If you guys have stories for me that you guys want me to cover for what is happening, I am here. And let's not forget our brothers from our Red Pill Heavy Hitters are in the house. We got our brother Morpheus, JB from the Fell Academy. We got Perception Real. We also have our soul sister, Soulless Reiki. Nothing but heavy hitters, big materials, big bomb dropping.
That is right. That is right. Now, and you can find me at Trebles Garcia, Trebles Garcia, on all social media platforms. That is Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But don't forget, hit us up at paranoidradio.com and give us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. Make sure you also hit up the Conspiracy Comrades podcast, drop a 5-star review on them, and show them some motherfucking love. That is right. Now, thank you all for being here today, for joining us around the fucking world. And mad love and shout outs to Morpheus, Breaking the Matrix, JB. From the Fail Academy, Perception Rio, and Soulless Reiki. Each and every single one of you out there supporting our fucking show. Keep in fucking tone that it's almost the 1-year anniversary for Paranoid Radio Podcast, and we're preparing a fucking collage, an amazing fucking episode for all of you guys to hear and enjoy, and also reflect off of 60 fucking episodes and a whole 365 days ago when we started this fucking podcast as a fucking hobby. It's still a fucking hobby, and it's a lot more fun to do now, but still, we have a little trajectory for you, and we hope you guys enjoy. So tune in. It's dropping this week. Today is Monday, August 16th, dropping bombs, and we're dropping this 4 days from today on our official anniversary. Stay tuned also for the fucking raffle and the fucking special care package one-off t-shirts and other little prices we're going to be giving out to our fucking listeners.
Most definitely. We're actually going to do a reveal. We're still not sure if we're going to go live or how we're going to do it, but we are definitely keep your eye out because this is going to be one-of-a-kind merch.
That is right. Thank you again, Big Tank. Mad love to you, man, and have a good night. Boom. Blow your fucking mind.